What is up, my friends? It is a pleasure to be here with you, and you are very welcome along to Thursday evening's Anfield Agenda News Roundup. Today we're going to try and answer the question, will KONATE stay at Liverpool Football Club? We'll tell you what Paul Gorst has had to say. I'll give you my take on it. We'll answer the question, are Liverpool really going to pay £95 million for Anthony Gordon? And I'll also bring you lots of comments from Arne Slot's pre-Nottingham Forest press conference. That and lots more coming up over the next few minutes. But as always, I want to know your thoughts. Do let me know in the comment section. Drop a like, of course, if you enjoyed this video. And don't forget to come and join me tonight at 8:45 for the late night agenda. But we'll be getting stuck into this and plenty more transfer stories that we don't have the time to fit into this video. So, ladies and gentlemen, loads to get through. But as always, a reminder, do come and enter our giveaway where we're giving away a signed and framed Jurgen Klopp shirt completely free with thanks to our friends at the Collector's Corner. All you have to do to enter is scan the QR code on the screen and follow the instructions in the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp. We'll be giving away one signed item every month throughout 2026. And you can also treat yourself to 20% off at thecollectorscorner.co.uk by using our code AnfieldAgenda1 at checkout. Right, straight into it. Let's get going with Paul Gorst's comments. And he said, it does indeed sound more promising on KONATE's contract situation. I would agree. I was in a room with Arne Slot on Friday when he told us that the club remained locked in talks over a new deal, and it sounded fairly encouraging. Now, I don't like to agree with Paul Gorst a lot of the time, but honestly on this one, I'm right there with him. We heard the comments from Virgil van Dijk as well. He said that his own contract negotiations went late before they were sorted. And I just got a vibe myself over the past week. I've been talking about it on the streams. I can't really put my finger on it, but it does feel more likely that the big man may sign new terms at the club. It would cure a lot of headaches for us, of course. Then we've got Jeremy Jacquet in. Leone will be back next season. We'll see what happens with Joe Gomez's future. So we'll let you know if there's any update on this definitively. But for right now, the vibe is certainly feeling a little bit more positive. So, Arne Slot talking about teams we previously faced, the styles of football and stuff like that, said this. The teams we previously faced haven't been as entertaining as the teams we've recently faced. The teams we haven't been as entertaining as the teams we have recently faced. For such a large part of a season where we've lost or drawn, we didn't deserve it. The amount of times we created more than enough chances has been a lot. You could argue we created a lot of chances against Brighton, but we scored 3. Things have gone a bit more back to normal. On the set-piece coach and Aaron Briggs going, Arne had this to say. It would be very unfair to Aaron Briggs as he was partly responsible, but it's ultimately my responsibility. We were so unlucky in that period. We had multiple chances to score. Things have gone back to normal now, which we expected. In the Champions League, which Aaron Briggs was with us, we were number 1 in set pieces. I would just say things have gone back to normal. At the moment, we're happy with the way things are. We're always looking to strengthen the staff. Now, I do find this a little bit ironic that things are back where they wanted to be. Aaron Briggs was grand. We were doing grand in the Champions League, but I fired him anyway. I mean, look, I've said it all the way through. When somebody fails in the coaching setup, to me, it's down to the head coach. But, you know, Aaron Briggs was the sacrificial lamb, and there's no denying we've gotten better from set pieces. Can't argue with that. Don't want to argue with that. But that's currently where we're at. He was speaking a little bit as well about Georgi Marmadarashvili and the surprise perhaps that he didn't play in the FA Cup. And this is what Arne had to say. For me, it wasn't a surprise to pick Alisson. Last season, we made a different choice in the FA Cup. That's true. Usually for me, the League Cup is for the second choice keeper. In the FA Cup, I decided at the moment, Georgie played the first round. I judge it the same as every other game, what's best for the team and the individual. I decided to play Ali again. It was, of course, disappointing for Georgie, as he's a very good goalkeeper and done well when he's come in for Ali. Kind of shafted Georgie a little bit though, didn't he? If he's only going to play in the League Cup and then he puts out a team to throw away the League Cup, not really giving Georgie Marmadarashvili many minutes, and it isn't really going to help us answer the question, is Georgie ultimately going to be good enough when Alisson Becker departs if it is in 2027? Truth is, still don't know the answer to it. Let me know your thoughts on this situation around the goalkeeper. Right, Szoboszlai. Some positives on this one. He said he played a good game midweek in midfield. The week before he played a very good game at right back, and the week before a good game in another position. I have to find the best position to play him in. Speaking about Alexander Isak, because that's been a topic this week that has had lots of people talking. We've seen Isak out there on the grass at the Axis, starting to do a few bits and pieces. We've also heard from Graham Potter about possibly having him for the March international break. This is what Arna had to say. Unfortunately for him and us, we haven't seen the best of Alex. We will next season. Well, will you though, Arna? That's for another day, but we'll move on. We all know at the moment, you go on the pitch, it doesn't take 3 months anymore to be back, but these final stages, it can change. Let's not put a time scale on it, but he will be available if things go to plan this season, which again, we all want to see. We want to see Alex out there on the pitch. We want to see the manager having more options. Also about Isak, he said, it's nice for him to go on the pitch and nice to see him there. You know you're in the final stages of rehab. Next step is, of course, doing work with the ball and then going into the group, and it takes a while before you're ready to play. It's nice that rehab has gone well. Compliment to him and to our medical staff. Proper pre-season, it'll give us a different player to what we had, but we're expecting a different player at the end of this season compared to what he had done up to now. On injuries, this is what the manager had to say. Jeremy Frimpong will not be involved this week. We hope he'll be involved next week if things go as planned. Endo will be out for a long time. We don't know exactly how long. Alexander Isak has been on the pitch with his running shoes for the first time this week, so it'll be a while. And I think Joe Gomez is ready to start. Yes, he is, which is good news. But then the question, I guess, comes, do you put all of your fit and available centre-backs on the pitch at the same time? Because if you're going to play Joe at right-back, then you've got Ibu and Virgil, you're walking that tightrope again. Let me know in the comments what you would do on this one. I still haven't fully decided what direction to go with this for the the Nottingham Forest preview. Not really sure exactly what the best situation is at right back. Whether you go with putting in a Szoboszlai, putting in a Jones, or roll the dice and hope that Joe Gomez doesn't pick up a knock. On Nottingham Forest, this is what Arna had to say about them. Back when it was Sean Dyche, third or fourth game, that makes it a little bit more difficult. We only have tonight to see this new manager change his personnel. The good thing is they have that game, and the manager was in the Premier League last season. Vida Pereira, the new manager there. It's been a difficult game for us at the beginning of the season. There was a half hour, which was good from us. Chance after chance. Then we conceded from a set piece, and we went a completely different way. No, they whooped us, mate. They whooped us. Let's not forget that. They whooped us, and it still stings. Arne Slot in Liverpool's form of being in a good place right now said this. Compared to a few weeks ago, I don't think a lot has changed. In the last 19 games, we've lost twice, both in extra time, and we didn't deserve to lose those games. We didn't yesterday to know how difficult it is to win a Premier League game. We've seen the Arsenal result. What has made the Premier League nice of this season than 4, 5, 6 years ago, it's more competitive. We have improved compared to 3, 4 months ago. We're in a much better place than months ago. There are more reasons, but the most simple two is how fit we are and how much better we are at set pieces at the moment. So that's pretty much everything Arna had to say at his press conference earlier on, or everything of note. But there's one more story I'd like to finish up with before we go off this evening, and that is a story from Caught Offside. I know you're going to hate me again, because every time I bring up this man's name, there's a lot of division in the comments. Liverpool are leading the race to sign Newcastle United winger Anthony Gordon this summer, ahead of Manchester City and Arsenal. The Magpies have slapped a £95 million price tag on the England international, who scored 4 goals against Karabag in the Champions League last night. Now, what do we say here, ladies and gentlemen? I would be on board with getting Anthony Gordon. I've said this for a long time. But £95 million, that's going into the realms of ridiculousness at this point. It is way too much money for me. Anthony Gordon, in my opinion, is a 60 to 70 million pound footballer, and anything, well, much above that is fantasy stuff. If Newcastle are open to selling him, fair enough, but I don't think you're going to see Liverpool pay 95 million. Surely, right? We couldn't give Newcastle 210 million for 2 players over 2 windows or 2 summers, could we? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and as I said, I'll be back here tonight, 8:45. We'll see you then. Much love. Have a good Thursday.